You know that feeling, right? When you're in a conversation and you can just sense there's something else going on under the surface. Well, today, we're going to talk about how to not just hear what's unspoken, but how to respond in a way that creates a real, powerful connection.
I mean, seriously, what if you could actually decode the feelings hidden between the words? It sounds like a superpower, I know, but it's a skill, and we're going to break down exactly how you can start using it today.
And believe me, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It all boils down to a super simple two-step process. First, we identify the emotion. And second, we offer an affirmation that makes the other person feel genuinely seen and heard. That's it.
All right, let's dive right into step one. This is all about perception. It's about shifting our focus from what's being said to the emotional vibe of the conversation. Here's the secret sauce. Listen for the feeling, not just the facts. Think about it. When a coworker tells you about a project they just finished, the real story isn't in the project details. It's in the pride, or maybe the pure exhaustion that you hear in their voice. That's the important stuff.
So, think of this little chart as your decoder ring for those unspoken feelings. For instance, if you notice someone speaking a bit faster, really hitting those hard parts of the story they overcame, that's probably pride. On the flip side, you hear a lot of sighs, their voice is kind of flat, you're almost certainly hearing exhaustion. These aren't just wild guesses, they're real observable clues.
Okay, but just spotting the emotion is only half the battle, right? Step 2 is where the magic happens. It's about building a bridge from just noticing to actually connecting, and we do that by offering an affirmation.
So what do I mean by affirmation? Look, it's not about just saying, I agree, or that's cool. It's way more powerful. It's the act of reflecting someone's feeling back to them, showing them that you get what's going on inside. You're validating their whole experience.
And to make this super easy to use, we're going to use a simple but honestly incredibly effective formula. This is the tool that brings everything together.
Here it is. So simple, right? Notice there are two parts. First, you gently name what you're hearing. It sounds like you're feeling really proud. Then, and this is key, you acknowledge the work behind it. And I can see how much effort that must have taken. See? It's that second part that really lands.
Now, theory is one thing, but let's make this real. We're going to walk through a few common situations to see exactly how you can put this formula to work.
Okay, so let's say your friend is talking a mile a minute, all hyped up about overcoming some huge obstacle. Instead of just a, hey, good job, you detect that pride and say, wow, it sounds like you've mastered something really difficult. Boom, you've just validated not just what they did, but how they feel about it. That's so much more meaningful.
Now let's talk about exhaustion. Someone is sighing, their voice is just flat. Our first instinct is always to jump in and try to fix it, right? You should take a vacation. But look at what this affirmation does. It doesn't try to fix a thing. It just says, I see your struggle, and it makes total sense. Sometimes that is absolutely everything a person needs to hear.
And for a fun one, excitement. With this one, the affirmation basically acts like a mirror. You're just reflecting their positive energy right back at them. It kind of amplifies their joy because now they feel seen in their passion. You're not just watching them be happy, you're sharing the moment with them.
All right, so once you're comfortable with that basic formula, there's a little pro move you can use to take this to the next level. I call it the checking in strategy, and it adds this crucial layer of respect. Now, this is so important. The key here is to remember you're making an educated guess. You're not stating a fact. You're not a mind reader. So your tone should be a little tentative, almost like you're asking a question. This shows so much respect. You're basically saying, I think this is what I'm hearing, but you're the expert on you. It gives them space to agree or even correct you, and that builds incredible trust. Oh, this is such a great example of the difference. Think about it. You are stressed. It just lands like a heavy label, a judgment. But phrasing it as a question, is that how it feels? That completely changes the game. It becomes an invitation. You're opening a door for a real conversation instead of possibly shutting one down. It's a tiny shift in words that makes a world of difference.
And really, that's the whole point of all of this. This isn't about becoming a perfect emotional detective and being right all the time. It's about showing people you're really, truly listening. It's about building stronger, more authentic connections, one simple affirmation at a time.
So as you head into your week, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. In your next meeting, your next call with family, your next chat with a friend, whose unspoken story will you choose to hear? Because trust me, the cues are there. They're just waiting for someone to notice.